random video, which means I talk about whatever I feel like. So what I wanted to talk about, I think I did talk about this last year, but I know I have quite a few new subscribers. And it's about my car anxiety and this week. On August 5th, 2006 at 9:23, pretty sure that's what the police report says, we were hit from behind. We were in a serious car accident. Exactly a week before a wedding. I dislocated my left hip. The hardest part for me about it is that it wasn't the person that I was with driving in terms of that caused the accident. It was somebody else. So I'm always worried about everybody else's driving because, I trust the people that I ride with. But let me tell you a little bit more about what had, kind of what I was going through. When we got hit, I was sound asleep because I was getting ready to work the next day. So I actually had fallen asleep. I told my husband, if anybody asks me a question, just kind of nudge me, because it was Mike's cousin and friend that took us out. Took us to Six Flags. We had a great day because it was kind of like I had everything done and ready for the wedding. So it was basically it was kicking off my week of relaxation. So I fell asleep because I was exhausted. And then I woke up to, I guess the best way to say it was I was on like a roller coaster that I didn't want to be on and I just wanted to get off. But I went to put my hands up to brace because it was one of those like just natural reaction if I just want this to stop. And I yelled no. Because I don't know, the day before we were watching a thing, I was watching it on Mythbusters about, bracing yourself and that that's not the best thing to do. Don't know why it popped in my head while I was, So then the car finally stopped. We were actually pushed quite a distance away. Actually, right here I'm going to add some pictures of the car. I was, of course, in the back seat. I took most of the brunt of the force, and here in Connecticut, how they do it is they kind of let you know a little bit of like the type of accident, so they know which hospital you're going to be sent to if you need to be sent to a trauma or regular. They figured somebody was in critical condition, if not dead, which was me. So to their surprise, I was fully conscious. Now I know and they know I was actually starting to go into shock. I didn't realize it. I was completely calm. Just my legs wouldn't stop shaking. And I was getting cold. And it was like beginning of August. So it was, I think, from what we understand, it was about like 75 degrees that night. It was a warm night. And my legs wouldn't stop shaking. And I was like, oh, this is weird. I just need to calm down. I figured because my back hurt so bad, I'm like, oh, I'm going to have a nice huge bruise on my back for our honeymoon. Everybody else was able to get out of the car except for me. My husband did come over to me and I told him to go away because he had blood. I don't do well with blood of loved ones. That goes back from when I was little. I can discuss that if somebody really wants me to. But anyway, so I couldn't open my door. My husband couldn't open the door. Well, at that time it was my fiance. He couldn't open the door from the outside. And I said, oh, that's okay. We'll just, the EMTs, when they get here, maybe we're just, I'm just not strong enough because my legs really were shaking. And I was a nurse that was on her way to the hospital that I was sent to, had seen the accident, had come around. She called my parents and she said, do you want to talk to him? And I said, no, because I knew I was going to lose it if I had talked to my mom. So I stayed very calm. I said, no. the EMTs come over to me and they say, okay, we need to get you out of the vehicle. Can you stand up? And I said, my legs won't stop shaking. I can't. I said, I think I'm just too stressed out. I really thought I was stressed out. So they went to go open the door, and they, I heard the guy said, one of the EMTs said, we need to use the jaws of life on this. And I said, whoa, no, 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 no. And they're like, why? I said, do you guys think I'm hurt that bad that I need, is there something I'm not seeing? Like, I can feel my whole body. And they said, okay, we won't use the jaws of life, because I started panicking, because to me that meant they think I'm worse than I really was. So the EMT said, fine, well, we're going to pass you through the other way. They're like, but it might be a little bit uncomfortable. Well, I had a skirt on, and of course, me being the modest one, said, oh my gosh, everyone's going to see my undies, and the EMT was very sweet. He took one of those little, paper ones and put it over so that way I wasn't showing my whole butt to the whole town, because that was, my biggest fear. So when they went to move me, then I started getting the really sharp pain in my groin, and I'm like, oh, that hurts. I screamed. I think I pinched. Did I scratch the EMT? Maybe I did, but I know as soon as I was apologetic, I was like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. I think I screamed, and I said, oh, that hurts, and he's like, it's okay, it's okay, it's okay. So once they moved me, I was in so much pain, but I was so cold. I was freezing. And I said, can I have a blanket? I'm so cold. And they said, oh, we can't give you a blanket. Oh, what the heck? I'm cold. So they then put a blanket, they put the paper one over me. They said, oh, we're just going to shut off the AC. So they shut off the AC, and we went, they avoided the speed bumps for me. Long story short, I dislocated my left hip. I had broken a part of the bone. They asked me, the orthopedic surgeon said, we can go in and take the piece of bone out and reset it. You'll be in the hospital for about, a week? Yeah, he said 7 to 10 days. And I just started bawling my eyes out. He said, well, we can do a close reduction. He's like, and then it all depends up to how you do. And I started crying. Because I was looking at the fact that I was going to miss my own wedding. So I told my mom, I said, you make the decision. I can't make this decision. And because I had said that, the doctor said, okay, well, what's your decision? And my mom said, do whatever's best. We'll deal with her mood after. So they ended up doing the close reduction so I could get out in time. I took my first steps on the 7th. So today will be 7 years that I took the first steps. And I took 4 steps, and that was it. And I figured I would not be able to go to my wedding or walk down the aisle or anything like that. The next day on the 8th, I did much better. But they had me using a walker, and I asked about using crutches, and they said, why? I said, I don't know. I said, I think I'll be better with crutches. And I was. I did so much better. I was released from the hospital on the 10th, because on the 9th they had to finish up seeing how I was going to do. So yeah, on the 10th I was released. We had our rehearsal dinner and all that on the 11th, and on the 12th we got married. But I have really bad car anxiety this week because exactly a year after my car accident, I fell down and hurt my hip again. Yeah, so that's what happened the first year after. So I was on crutches again for our first wedding anniversary. The second anniversary, I fell at home, twisted my ankle. Of course, though, we found out 2 weeks later that I was pregnant with my son. So I did panic about having the x-ray. 3 years later, as I was packing up to move into this house, I slipped and fell again. Not too much fun. Then 4 years later, this is where people say, oh, you just look into it too much. No, it's typically this week. I was in this room and I fell, and I was 24 weeks pregnant. So, and I didn't tell my husband. Then I had a year off. I think we had a year off. Then last year I had another year off. So I'm just kind of like terrified of being in a car because I'm afraid that at some point, instead of my bad luck being just that I fall, that I get into another car accident. Especially now being pregnant makes it worse. So that is my randomness. Sorry. So I will talk to you guys later. Bye.